We're at the point in the offseason where things really start to heat up. The hot stove begins to burn and we start to see free agents sign. But the market is usually dictated by those players at the top of it. So what we're going to be doing here over the next coming couple of weeks is we're going to be examining the best free agents and their 5 most likely landing destinations for this 2026 campaign and beyond. So keep it locked in here at the Baseball Banter Broadcast, and let's get into it. Now, this may seem like an outlandish place to begin this list, but number 5 on my list for the services of JT Realmuto is that of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yes, it may seem crazy to think, but the Pirates have already been reported to be looking to spend money. And yes, we know that they have not given out a multi-year free agent contract since 2016 to Ivan Nova when he got a 3-year deal. But for this pitching staff that the Pittsburgh Pirates are building, obviously around the reigning National League Cy Young Award winner in Paul Skeens, but they also have some young talent that absolutely could use the nurturing of a veteran backstop with the capabilities of JT Realmuto. If the Pirates are going to sit here and actually go out and spend some money this offseason, being able to elevate the catching core of this team could absolutely serve to be a place where they spend some money. You also have the ability where if you bring in JT Realmuto, especially if the market comes back to them on potentially a 1 or 2 year deal, you have now the opportunity to have him mold the next set of catchers in Pittsburgh. Obviously, the veteran leadership of what he is able to do and what he is able to command behind the plate there could absolutely serve to help the Pittsburgh pitching staff, but also the entire clubhouse as well. You also add in what he is capable of still doing offensively as one of the best catchers in the game, and you absolutely, without a doubt, have the makings of a great fit. Now, whether the Pirates are going to actually be financially responsible and go out and add to this team is going to be another question in and of itself. But for me, a place to begin this list for the services of JT Realmuto, let's make a splash with the Pirates. Now, the number 4 team on my list is that of the Minnesota Twins. Yes, the Twins were absolutely going crazy last year at the trade deadline and traded away basically the entire roster. But one of the things that it allowed them to do was to be able to now look to their young core. Being able to add the services of a guy like JT Realmuto to this young core with the pitching staff that they have and that they're building could absolutely serve to give the Twins a shot in the arm and potentially push them back towards the top of this division. I think there is an opportunity for the American League Central Division to be wide open, and obviously it's going to seem like a 2-team race between the Tigers and the Guardians. But if the Twins go out and they augment this team, bring in a veteran catcher in JT Realmuto who has the offensive capabilities, but also the defensive capabilities that you're looking for from an everyday catcher, you absolutely can see the Twins vaulting and skyrocketing back up into the top half of that conversation. When you think about what this could also mean for the Minnesota Twins is you bring in JT Realmuto, and if the team doesn't respond the way you think that it is, you flip him at the deadline in the same way you flip basically your entire roster in 2025. Now you can also continue to add to this team in that way. The Minnesota Twins are in an interesting position going into the 2026 campaign, but they could absolutely make some ground waves and make some moves to be able to make this team a bit better in 2026, but also shoot for even longer. What JT Realmuto could do as a catcher on this team with this pitching staff and the young players in that clubhouse could absolutely be a veteran leader for this squad. When you have a player of JT's caliber, there's no shortage of teams that could absolutely benefit from what he is able to do. Now, my dark horse sleeper pick for the services of JT Realmuto and my number 3 candidate is that of the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay is going to want to make a splash as they're looking to try and push their team into a new level and into a new stadium. How else do you do that than by adding to the team and to the core that you have now? There's always going to be an opportunity to add a good catcher to just about every single team in Major League Baseball right now. And JT is going to be the best available catcher on the market. Obviously, what he is capable of doing offensively and defensively has started to regress a bit, but not enough to where you would be truly concerned about the lack of anything of what he can provide, either side of the baseball. For Tampa Bay, you have a young team that you're trying to build up. Tampa is always known for what they have in terms of a pitching staff. So how do you augment a pitching staff? Then by adding a great catcher to the mix. Yes, there are people that like the catching core that they currently have, but you can always get that better by having a player like JT in the team. You also give the opportunity for JT, as I mentioned with the Pirates, to have him be a mentor, to have him be able to bring up the next generation of Rays catchers. JT Realmuto is going to be the best catcher available on the market, and for a team in Tampa that is looking to make waves to be able to sustain themselves as a contender each and every single year, especially as they're trying to woo Tampa into getting them into a new stadium, you're definitely going to want to be able to add to this team in a way to push them to the next level. JT Realmuto could absolutely help the Rays get to another level in 2026 and beyond. Now, the number 2 team on my list for the services of JT Realmuto is that of the San Diego Padres. When you think about San Diego, yes, they are a team in flux. You don't know what they're going to do in terms of their ownership group, whether they're going to sell, whether they're not. But what they do need in that lineup is an everyday catcher that they can rely upon. Going into what they had last year with the services of Elias Diaz, and then when they got Freddie Fermin at the trade deadline, it was really a piecemeal. You were piecing it together. But if the Padres go out and sign JT Realmuto, this is a guy who can absolutely help that pitching staff take it to another level, as we've mentioned already in great length of what his capabilities are as a leader, as a catcher, and as an offensive threat. But adding him to a Padres lineup lengthens the lineup in a way that they absolutely could use. You think about the fact that he is also a sneaky base runner and can steal some bases for you. If this dynamic of a player is capable of being available the way that he is now as a free agent, and the Padres look to their team and say, yep, we got it under control, they're absolutely fooling themselves. But being able to go out and get a guy like JT Realmuto and add him to the San Diego Padres roster could truly stand to help them as they try to ascend and fight and nip at the heels of the 2-time reigning defending World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Adding a guy like JT could help the Padres bring that gap a lot closer. Now, the number 1 and most likely landing destination for the services of JT Realmuto is that with the Philadelphia Phillies. There's no doubt about it, the Phillies don't have another answer. They don't have another alternative that they can truly count on if they let JT go. Without a doubt, the Phillies are in a position right now where they are trying to hold off and to stay at the top of the National League East Division. The Mets are obviously going to try and do things to get better. You have the Braves that are definitely not going to be able to be as bad as they were in 2025 and 2026. You have to imagine that they're going to bounce back in a serious way. So for Philadelphia, with this core that is aging, that is a veteran core, that has been the victims over the last several years of, quote, running it back with JT is the right move. There's no doubt Philly does not have another alternative answer if they lose JT Realmuto to free agency. They have to go out, and whether they have to make it and get to an uncomfortable level to do so, to keep him in Philadelphia, it is absolutely imperative for the Phillies to be able to make and sustain the run that they've been on and try to get further, to try to get over the hump and win the World Series. They are going to need to have a catcher the caliber of JT Realmuto. So for me, the number 1 most likely landing destination for the services of JT is right back with the Philadelphia Phillies. But I want to hear from you, baseball fans. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings down in the comment section below. What thoughts are you having as far as where JT is going to land? What does that contract look like? What is the dollar amount? What is the amount of years that he is going to get? And just another question I'd like you to answer down in the comments: are the Phillies going to have to go to an uncomfortable level to re-sign the catcher? Let me know all of that down in the comments, and while you're there, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell for post notifications, so each and every time we drop new content here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast, you will be notified. We have a ton of new content coming here in this upcoming season, a ton of new contributors already on the channel, and more to come. So definitely keep it locked in. And if you're not seeing enough coverage from your team here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast, reach out. There may be a place for you here on the team to join us and cover your favorite team. As always, I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.